Losing a spouse is one of the most difficult experiences anyone can face. It's not just the overwhelming grief, but the multitude of decisions that suddenly fall on your shoulders. In such a vulnerable time, it's easy to make choices out of pain, loneliness, or pressure from others. However, some decisions can lead to regret, financial difficulties, or emotional setbacks, making the healing process even harder. While grief is deeply personal, there are certain choices you should carefully consider before saying yes. In this video, we'll discuss 7 things you should avoid after losing a spouse, mistakes that many people unknowingly make, only to realize later that they weren't truly ready. By knowing these pitfalls in advance, you can protect your emotional, financial, and physical well-being during this challenging time. This isn't just about avoiding mistakes. It's about navigating this difficult chapter with clarity, dignity, and the support you deserve. Stay with me until the end for insights that will help guide you through this journey toward healing and peace. Let's start this journey together with understanding and care at every step. Number 1. Rushing into a new relationship. Losing a spouse leaves an emotional void that can feel impossible to fill. For many, the loneliness that follows is one of the hardest parts of grief, and the thought of finding companionship again may seem like the only way to cope. While there's absolutely nothing wrong with desiring connection, one of the most common mistakes widows and widowers make is rushing into a new relationship before they've fully processed their grief. The emotions of loss can create a deep need for comfort, and while the desire for companionship is understandable, making major romantic decisions too soon can lead to more heartache, confusion, and regrets. Grief doesn't follow a timeline, and everyone heals at their own pace. Some people take years before even considering dating again, while others may feel ready sooner. But when emotions are raw, the risk of entering a relationship for the wrong reasons is high. Many people unknowingly look for a partner not because they are truly ready, but because they are seeking to replace what was lost, avoid loneliness, or escape the pain. These relationships often start with strong emotions but may lack the stability needed for long-term success. Take the example of 70-year-old Martha. Just months after losing her husband of nearly 50 years, she met someone through a friend and quickly entered into a relationship. At first, it felt like the companionship she desperately needed. Someone to talk to, share meals with, and distract her from the overwhelming loneliness. But as time went on, Martha realized she wasn't truly ready. The relationship moved faster than she had expected, and soon she felt trapped in something that didn't feel right. Eventually, she had to step back and take time for herself. In hindsight, she wished she had given herself more time before making such a big decision. A new relationship should be about genuine connection, not just emotional relief. When someone has spent decades with a spouse, the habits, routines, and shared memories are deeply ingrained. Jumping into a relationship before processing that loss can lead to unfair comparisons, unrealistic expectations, and feelings of guilt. Some widows and widowers even find themselves struggling with conflicting emotions, wanting to move forward but feeling as though they are betraying the person they lost. These are natural feelings, but they need to be acknowledged and worked through before entering into something new. Another concern is vulnerability to people with bad intentions. Unfortunately, some individuals take advantage of those who are grieving, offering emotional support only to manipulate or exploit them financially. Scammers, as well as well-meaning but opportunistic individuals, often seek out widowed seniors, knowing they may be emotionally fragile and in need of companionship. This is why it's essential to trust your instincts and take your time. If someone is pressuring you to commit quickly, make financial decisions, or distance yourself from friends and family, these are red flags that shouldn't be ignored. This doesn't mean avoiding love or companionship forever. Many widows and widowers do find meaningful relationships later in life, but the healthiest and most fulfilling ones happen when both individuals are truly ready. When the decision is made from a place of healing, not desperation. Time and reflection are key. Taking the time to process grief, rediscover personal identity, and find peace in being alone before seeking a new partner makes a world of difference. If you do choose to date again, go at your own pace. Take time to understand what you truly want in a relationship and make sure you're entering it for the right reasons. Talk with trusted friends or family members about your feelings, and don't feel pressured by anyone's opinions. whether they think it's too soon or that you shouldn't be alone. The decision is yours and yours alone. At the end of the day, grief and healing are deeply personal journeys. There's no rush, no deadline, and no rulebook. The most important thing is to take care of yourself first, so that if and when the time comes, any new relationship you enter is built on a foundation of strength, peace, and true companionship. Number 2. Holding on to belongings too long. After the loss of a spouse, one of the most emotionally challenging decisions is what to do with their possessions. Each item carries a flood of memories, and the thought of parting with anything can feel like you're losing them all over again. It's completely understandable to want to hold on to everything: clothing, personal items, even the smallest mementos. The idea of changing anything can bring the painful thought that you might be erasing the life you shared together. However, keeping every single item for years can often add to the grief rather than ease it. It can create an emotional weight that hinders your healing process and makes it difficult to move forward. While it's natural to want to preserve some belongings, keeping an entire home exactly the same with no changes can turn it into a constant reminder of what's been lost. Rather than offering comfort, it may continue to reinforce sadness and prevent you from embracing a new chapter of your life. Take, for instance, 76-year-old Henry. After his wife of 55 years passed, he kept everything just as it had been. Her shoes were still by the door, her clothes stayed in the closet, and her favorite chair remained in its place. In the beginning, Henry felt that preserving everything was a way of keeping her close. But as the months went by, he began to feel that the untouched items were keeping him in a loop of grief. He wasn't ready to part with everything, but when he gradually began to donate some things and kept only a few items that had the most meaning, he started to feel a sense of relief. It wasn't about forgetting his wife, it was about allowing himself space to heal. It's important not to feel rushed by the well-meaning advice of others to clear out belongings before you're ready. Family and friends may suggest that it's time to move on, but these decisions are deeply personal and should be made when you feel it's right. If you're not ready, it's okay to take your time. However, be aware that holding on out of guilt or fear of letting go may trap you in grief for longer than necessary. Another thing to consider is that repurposing or finding new ways to honor memories doesn't mean erasing them. This process of change can be a way of respecting what was lost while creating room for your own personal healing. Moving forward doesn't mean leaving behind your spouse's memory, it's about carrying that memory with you in a way that makes space for new growth in life. If you're finding these insights helpful, don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do so and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. Your support helps us continue to create content that truly matters. Take care and remember, you're not alone on this journey. Number 3. Overworking to avoid grief. In the aftermath of losing a spouse, it can be tempting to throw yourself into work as a way of avoiding the painful emotions of grief. Some people believe that keeping busy will help them move forward, thinking that focusing on tasks will numb the heartache or give them a sense of control. While staying productive can provide some distraction, overworking can often lead to emotional burnout, physical exhaustion, and the inability to properly process grief. When you bury your emotions beneath a mountain of work, the grief doesn't go away, it simply gets postponed. This can result in a delayed emotional breakdown when the exhaustion becomes too much to handle, or it can prevent you from truly healing, leaving you stuck in a cycle of avoidance. It's important to find a balance between staying engaged in life and giving yourself permission to grieve. Take the case of 71-year-old Susan. After losing her husband of 40 years, she immersed herself in her job, taking on extra responsibilities and staying late to avoid coming home to an empty house. At first, it felt like the only way to cope. But over time, the exhaustion from overworking caught up with her. She began to feel disconnected from her emotions and struggled to find peace in the evenings. Eventually, she realized that her work was not a solution. It was preventing her from addressing her true feelings. Once Susan started to take breaks and allow herself time to mourn, she found that healing became possible. Taking care of your emotional well-being is just as important as taking care of your physical health. If you find yourself overworking to avoid the sadness, it may be time to step back and evaluate what you need. Healing takes time, and it's okay to take things slow. Prioritize self-care, allow yourself moments of rest, and be kind to yourself. Grieving is not something that can be rushed or worked through. It's a process that requires space, reflection, and time. Number 4. Isolating yourself from friends and family. It's completely natural to crave solitude after losing a spouse. Grief is such a personal experience, and sometimes it feels like being alone is the only way to process the pain. While it's important to take moments for yourself, completely shutting out friends and family can lead to an even deeper sense of loneliness, one that may make healing even harder. Many people, in their grief, fall into the habit of withdrawing. They tell themselves they just need more time, or that others won't understand their feelings. But the truth is, isolation can quickly become a pattern that's difficult to break. Human connection is crucial for emotional well-being, especially during times of loss. When people distance themselves for too long, they often experience heightened sadness, anxiety, and even physical health issues. Studies have shown that prolonged social isolation can weaken the immune system, increase blood pressure, and even shorten lifespan. On the other hand, staying connected, even in small ways, can significantly ease the emotional burden and provide a vital sense of support. Take the case of 76-year-old Frank. When his wife of 52 years passed away, he began avoiding phone calls, skipping family gatherings, and rarely leaving the house. He told himself that he wasn't in the mood to talk, that no one could truly understand his grief, and that being alone was just easier. But as months passed, instead of feeling better, Frank felt worse. His days started to blur together, his energy dropped, and even his appetite changed. It wasn't until a neighbor insisted that he come over for coffee that something began to shift. That one conversation turned into a weekly habit, and eventually he started meeting up with friends. The more he engaged, the lighter he felt, not because his pain disappeared, but because he realized he wasn't alone in caring. The key isn't to force yourself into large social situations before you're ready. It's about taking small steps to stay connected. Whether it's answering a phone call, going for a short walk with a friend, or even joining a support group, these little actions can help keep you from slipping into deep loneliness. If you don't feel like talking, that's okay. Simply being around people, even if it's just listening to a conversation, can remind you that life continues and that support is there when you're ready. Another common mistake many people make is pushing away those who care most about them. Grief often brings feelings of irritability, exhaustion, and a sense that others can't possibly understand what you're going through. But shutting people out entirely only creates unnecessary distance between you and those who genuinely want to help. Your loved ones may not have the perfect words to say, but their presence alone can make a difference. Letting them in bit by bit can offer comfort, even when words are hard to find. It's also important to seek support from people who truly understand your experience. Connecting with others who have experienced similar loss, whether through a grief support group, a community gathering, or even an online forum, can be incredibly healing. Speaking with those who truly understand what you're going through can help validate your feelings and reassure you that you're not alone. Grief doesn't follow a set schedule, and there's no right or wrong way to heal. But staying isolated will only make the journey harder. Finding small ways to reconnect with others at your own pace can bring strength, comfort, and even unexpected moments of joy. Remember, you don't have to carry the weight of loss alone. There are people who care, who want to support you, and who can help you move forward one step at a time. If you're finding these insights helpful, don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do so and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. Your support helps us continue to create content that truly matters. Take care, and remember, you're not alone on this journey. Number 5. Making big financial decisions too soon. One of the most common mistakes people make after losing a spouse is rushing into major financial decisions. It's completely understandable. Suddenly, you're left facing bank accounts, insurance policies, investments, and perhaps even the difficult question of whether to keep or sell your home. In the midst of grief, it may feel like making immediate decisions will bring stability or help regain a sense of control. However, grief can cloud judgment, and making irreversible financial choices too soon may lead to regrets down the road. When emotions are running high, decisions that seem logical in the moment may not always be the best for the long term. Many widows and widowers feel pressured by well-meaning friends, financial advisors, or even their own sense of urgency to sell their house, move to a new location, or make large investments. But the months following the loss of a spouse are a time for emotional adjustment, not financial risk-taking. The wisest choice you can make is to pause. Give yourself time to process your grief before making decisions that will shape the rest of your life. Take, for example, 71-year-old Ruth. After losing her husband, she was advised by several people to downsize her home. The idea seemed practical: less space to maintain, lower expenses, and a chance for a fresh start. So, within just a few months, she sold the home they had shared for 40 years and moved to a smaller apartment in a different town. But as the initial shock of her loss wore off, Ruth realized she had acted out of panic. She missed the familiar comfort of her old home, the warmth of her neighbors, and the sense of stability her house had provided. Looking back, she wished she had waited longer before making such a significant decision. Financial choices don't just revolve around real estate. Many newly widowed individuals are also targeted by financial predators, people who see vulnerability as an opportunity. Whether it's unsolicited investment opportunities, high-pressure sales tactics, or even well-intentioned but uninformed advice from friends, it's important to be cautious. If someone urges you to sign papers, make a major withdrawal, or invest in something quickly, take a step back. The best financial decisions are rarely made in haste. Another common mistake is giving away money or assets too quickly. Grief often sparks a strong desire to help others: children, grandchildren, charities, or close friends. While generosity is a beautiful thing, making large financial gifts or dividing assets prematurely can leave you in a vulnerable position later on. What feels manageable in the moment may not be sustainable in the years to come. Before making any significant financial moves, it's best to consult with a trusted professional who understands your long-term needs and can help you plan wisely. The first year after losing a spouse should focus on stabilization, not drastic financial changes. Experts often recommend the one-year rule, which suggests waiting at least a year before making any irreversible financial decisions. This allows you the space to heal and helps you make choices with a clearer mind about what's truly best for your future. Losing a spouse is already one of life's hardest transitions. The last thing you need is added stress from financial mistakes that could have been avoided. Take your time, seek trusted guidance, and remember, there's no rush. The best decisions are made with clarity, not grief. Number 6. Ignoring your own health and well-being. When a spouse passes away, it's all too easy to become so consumed by grief that you start neglecting your own health. During such an overwhelming time, it's common to put off doctor's appointments, skip meals, or let your daily routine slip. Some people even feel guilty about taking care of themselves, as if focusing on their health somehow diminishes the depth of their love or grief. But the truth is, neglecting your own well-being doesn't bring you any closer to the one you've lost. In fact, it only makes your journey forward harder. Grief can affect the body in ways many people don't realize. Studies show that the loss of a spouse can increase the risk of heart problems, weaken immune function, and even lead to cognitive decline. The stress of grief can cause high blood pressure, disrupt sleep, and change your appetite. Some may lose interest in eating altogether, while others turn to unhealthy comfort foods. Over time, these changes can seriously impact both your physical and mental health. The key is not to expect yourself to feel normal overnight, but to make small choices that help your body stay strong as you navigate this difficult time. Take the example of 83-year-old Robert. After his wife passed, he stopped cooking meals for himself. He convinced himself he wasn't hungry, and when he did eat, it was usually something quick and processed. Within a few months, he started feeling weaker, had trouble sleeping, and was constantly fatigued. His daughter noticed the change and encouraged him to start eating regular meals again, even if he didn't have much of an appetite. Once Robert made small adjustments, like preparing simple, nutritious meals and drinking more water, he found his energy levels improved, his mood stabilized, and he was better able to handle the emotions that came with grief. Self-care isn't just about food, it also includes movement, sleep, and emotional well-being. Many people who lose a spouse stop exercising, not because they don't want to stay active, but because they no longer have someone to do it with. However, staying physically active, even with something as simple as a short daily walk, has been shown to reduce stress, boost mood, and even improve longevity. Joining a local walking group or exercise class can provide both physical benefits and much-needed social connection. Another common mistake is neglecting medical checkups. Many widows and widowers skip routine doctor visits or delay seeking medical care because they feel too overwhelmed. But this is exactly when it's most important to take care of your health. If you haven't seen a doctor in a while, make an appointment. Getting regular checkups, managing existing health conditions, and staying on top of medications can significantly impact how you feel, both physically and emotionally. Mental health is just as important as physical health. Grief can bring about depression, anxiety, and even feelings of hopelessness, especially when combined with isolation. If you're struggling, don't hesitate to reach out for help. Speaking with a counselor, joining a grief support group, or even just confiding in a trusted friend can provide relief and reassurance. You don't have to go through this alone, and seeking support isn't a sign of weakness, it's a step toward healing. Your spouse would have wanted you to take care of yourself. Honoring their memory doesn't mean sacrificing your well-being. It means continuing to live in a way that allows you to find moments of peace and strength. It's okay to grieve, to take your time, and to feel the weight of your loss. But amidst all of it, remember that your health still matters. You are still here, and your well-being is worth protecting. If you're finding these insights helpful, don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do so and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. Your support helps us continue to create content that truly matters. Take care, and remember, you're not alone on this journey. Number 7. Neglecting to seek professional help or support. After losing a spouse, it's common to feel overwhelmed by grief and the emotional toll it takes. Many people attempt to cope with their pain on their own, thinking that they should be able to handle it by themselves or that seeking help is a sign of weakness. But the reality is that grief can be a deeply complex and isolating experience, and it's important to recognize that seeking professional support is not only okay, it's often essential for healing. Grieving doesn't follow a clear path, and the emotions you experience may fluctuate unpredictably. You might feel fine one day and devastated the next, and sometimes, the weight of the grief can seem impossible to carry. While friends and family can offer emotional support, there are times when the guidance of a trained professional, such as a therapist or counselor, is necessary to help navigate the complicated emotions of loss. Take the case of 60-year-old Claire. After her husband passed away, she initially tried to cope by focusing on her family and keeping herself busy. She avoided talking about her feelings, thinking that if she could just stay strong for others, she would eventually be okay. But as time passed, Claire found herself feeling more and more disconnected. Her emotions were overwhelming, and she realized she was stuck in a cycle of sadness that she couldn't seem to break. It wasn't until a close friend suggested therapy that Claire decided to seek help. Through counseling, Claire learned how to process her grief, understand the emotional roller coaster she was on, and find healthy coping strategies. With the support of her therapist, she began to heal at her own pace. Seeking professional help doesn't mean you're weak or incapable. On the contrary, it's a courageous step toward healing. Therapy or counseling can provide a safe space to express your emotions, understand your grief better, and get tools to cope with the challenges ahead. Additionally, joining a support group with others who have experienced similar losses can also provide comfort and reassurance. Knowing you are not alone in your journey can make a huge difference in how you heal. It's important to recognize that healing from grief doesn't mean forgetting the person you lost. It means learning how to live with the loss in a way that allows you to move forward with your life. Professional support can provide the tools and the understanding needed to do just that. Don't be afraid to seek help when you need it. It's a vital part of the healing process and an essential way to take care of yourself. Final thoughts. Grieving the loss of a spouse is a deeply personal journey, and it can feel overwhelming at times. While it may seem like there are countless decisions to make and emotions to manage, it's important to remember that healing doesn't follow a set timeline. Everyone's process is unique, and there's no right way to navigate grief. As you move through this difficult period, it's essential to allow yourself time and space to heal. Taking care of your emotional, physical, and mental well-being should be a priority, and that includes being patient with yourself as you grieve. It's okay to feel sad, confused, or unsure at times. These feelings are part of the healing process. Remember, it's not about rushing through your emotions or trying to move on too quickly. It's about finding balance between honoring the memory of your loved one and embracing your own life, even if it feels daunting. Take small steps toward healing, seek support from those who care, and trust that with time, you'll find a way forward that feels right for you. Ultimately, you are not alone. Reach out when needed, take your time, and know that the journey of healing, while challenging, is also one of self-discovery and strength. The love you shared with your spouse will always remain a part of you, but so will your capacity to heal, grow, and live a fulfilling life again. Take it one day at a time and know that with each step, you are moving closer to finding peace.